Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Well, it's the day of Game 1 for the NBA Finals 2016. I believe the finals have already been played, right? I believe the best team emerged from the Western Conference Finals. I believe that's where the action was. I like the Golden State Warriors to pretty much blow out the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me make a point here. The series is going to be 2-2-1-1-1 in terms of where the games are played. It's not a 2-3-2. So if the Warriors win just one of the two games against Cleveland, right, in my opinion, they're going to be set to close this out in 5 games. If Cleveland's lucky, maybe it slips to a 6th game. I don't believe this is a 7-game series. I think the Warriors are vastly superior to the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? I've spoken with many people. I know many people feel that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love weren't able to play fully last year. Kevin Love missed the series entirely. Kyrie was barely there before having a knee injury. Just understand, neither is a great defender. There's a gap between these two teams defensively that's bigger than anyone imagines, right? Cleveland is entirely unprepared for this series, right? They've been playing teams like the Toronto Raptors, the Atlanta Hawks, the Detroit Pistons, right? They have not faced this level of defense recently. Understand, too, that if you go back and look at how Golden State played Cleveland in Cleveland, you're going to find a game where Golden State blew Cleveland off the map in Cleveland. Now, I know Cavalier fans want you to focus on people like Channing Frye, right? They want to say, hey, this time it's different. We have new studs. Channing Frye is not blessed defensively, right? He's not. Now, Golden State has a slew of guys, an army of guys who aren't just good defenders, they're great defenders, right? Draymond Green finished 2nd in the Defensive Player of the Year voting the last 2 years. 2nd, right? Andre Iguodala, who comes off the bench, is also a spectacular defender. Because he comes off the bench, he really wasn't in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. If he played enough minutes, I believe he would have been. Sean Livingston is long. He's a great defender, right? All 3 of these guys, I would argue, are better defensively than the best defender on the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? Let's talk about Kevin Love for a moment. Understand, Kevin Love, several times with Tyronn Lue as his coach, has been on the bench for long stretches of the 4th quarter. He's that bad defensively, right? It wasn't just David Blatt who sat down Kevin Love for long stretches of 4th quarters last year. Now his replacement, who presumably has seen Kevin Love in practice, has decided that, yes, Kevin Love belongs on the bench for stretches, right? Understand, Draymond Green sticking Kevin Love, that's a mismatch. Think about how grateful Draymond Green is going to be after having had to deal with Steven Adams, Serge Ibaka, Enes Kanter, the bigs on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Right? For him, this is going to seem like a walk in the park. Rather than wrestle with Steven Adams, now he just has to deal with Kevin Love. Right? Also, understand, not all three-point shooters are created equally. Right? Curry and Klay Thompson can get off those threes with a quick release in the middle of a snowstorm while it's windy. Right? Those guys get the shot off quickly. It's not aim, shoot. It's faster than that. They know where the basket is before they even get the ball. Right? I don't believe that J.R. Smith and Channing Frye have the same kind of ability. So I think Golden State is a better offensive team. They're a much better defensive team. I'm expecting Golden State to win games 1 and 2, to split games 3 and 4. And then I'm expecting Cleveland to have a big fight on its hands in game 5 to avoid getting closed out in 5. Let me say this about LeBron James. Great player. No question about it. There have been several weeks of this last NBA season where LeBron James didn't approach 30% from three-point range. Right? 30%. Let me say this too. If I looked around the entire league and if I came up with a list of 5 guys who I would want to try to stick LeBron James in big games, such as championship series games, on that list I would have Andre Iguodala, last year's MVP in the finals. I would have Draymond Green. Guess what? They're both on the Warriors. Right? Understand too, Klay Thompson is that rare player, and I don't see this a lot, that rare player who seems to be improving defensively every year he's in the league. Right? Understand, even a stone-cold shooter, the reigning three-point champion from the All-Star weekend, right, Klay Thompson, is above average defensively. Think about it. Right? So, I think it's all Golden State. You know, I was here online saying, hey, the Spurs have a chance against Golden State. The Spurs didn't get the opportunity. OKC jumped out to 3-1. I thought, hey, OKC, the odds are great. The Warriors beat them. Don't you feel that the Warriors, especially after this OKC series, where the team had to come back and win the last 3 games of that series, don't you feel that the Golden State Warriors are more battle-tested than these Cleveland Cavaliers? I like Golden State here big. I think you're getting value on the current line, money line, right, for the series. I don't think this goes 7 games. Let me say this, and this is a nod to Sportbook Review, SBR, excellent YouTube channel. I completely recommend them. This is a nod to Jordan Sharp on that channel. This was his observation, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. If you're one of those people who believes that Cleveland is going to pull the upset and win the series, right? Hey, one of my friends believes that firmly, right? If you believe it's Cleveland's year for revenge, that Love and Kyrie Irving are going to give them the extra, that this was a team that had the Warriors down in last year's championship series. If you believe that, then rather than just take Cleveland to win, can we agree that if Cleveland is to win, the likely MVP of the series is going to be LeBron James? Right? Can we agree on that? He just does too much for Cleveland, right? Look at his assist numbers, for crying out loud. Add in the scoring and the rebounding. It's LeBron's world in Ohio. Right? If you believe that the only way Cleveland can win is if LeBron wins MVP, then rather than throw money on Cleveland to win, why not take the longer odds, the greater return, by betting on LeBron James to win MVP of the finals? Right? Understand, you don't have to pick what you actually want. If there's a juicier bet out there and you understand the only way the juicier bet happens is if you get what you want. Right? So, to sum up, the bet I like here is simply Golden State to win it all. Right? If you're a little bit more adventurous bettor, maybe you want to flirt with Golden State winning in 5 or 6. The problem with those bets is they're mutually exclusive, right? You can't win them all. The other problem is Golden State. After all, this is a team that only lost 9 games all year in the regular season, right? There is the possibility that Golden State comes out, wins the first 2 games, gets to Cleveland, breaks Cleveland, wins game 3, and then decides to close a 73-win season with a 4-game sweep of the NBA Finals. Right? So because there's the chance that Golden State could win in 4, 5, or 6 games, right? Because I see any of those possibilities happening, I'm going to stay away from those bets. The only bet I'm recommending here is Golden State simply to win. Right? I know they're a favorite, folks. They should be a favorite. They're coming out of the tougher conference, and they're doing it with home court advantage and a historical 73 win in the regular season record. Right? If I'm Steph Curry, if I'm Klay Thompson, if I'm Draymond Green, if I'm Andrew Bogut, if I'm Harrison Barnes, this is what I would be practicing right now. Poses. In fact, if you want to get right down to it, poses that include holding the trophy. 2, 2, 2. Because that's what I believe these guys are going to be doing at the end of this series. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. If I see a prop bet that develops during the series or some in-series bet that I like, I'll try to post it at dwyervip.com. Thanks for stopping by.